Did I hear you started off as a DJ?
Yes. Oh, that's what I thought I wanted to do. And midnight to dawn is a pretty lonely place. And I was terrible, absolutely terrible.
Hello and welcome to B&T TV, where I'm joined by Sam Buchanan, CEO of the IMAA. Hi Sam, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
So my first question for you is, what is the best advert or only advert that you've seen this week?
I think the Michael Bublé bubbly ad, I think, is the best one I've seen. I think it combines tall poppy syndrome and people taking the piss out of each other, localism, and it just made me laugh, and I think it ticked all those boxes.
It was very well done. I was going to ask you, you obviously represent the indies. What do you love about the indies?
I think if I could put it into one word, it's passion. There is a level of passion there with indies that kind of stands out, whether it be on their business, whether it be, on the accounts or the campaigns, it just flows through everything. So I think it flows through all the staff. And
do you feel like you can kind of, people can be more creative at the indies? Is there kind of more scope for that?
There is a lot more scope for that. People can work on a number of different things, choose their own path to a degree. There's a lot more opportunity on that front.
And here at B&T, we never, ever use the word recession because it's way too depressive. But with ad spend being cut, how can indies in particular sort of protect themselves and protect their futures?
Look, I think that we don't say the R word, but I think that indies are well placed. They're, if COVID's taught us anything, it's the level of resilience that indies have. I think that they are agile enough to move things around. And plus, we're not held to account to, large international budgets. So many of the clients are local here. So we're not going to be affected too much. We've just done a survey in our indie census that most of them are quite optimistic about the next 12 months. So I'm optimistic that we're in a good position.
Okay. All right. And I was going to say, if we're talking about, indies and diversification and things like that, sometimes if there's a big client and they know that they're a very big client, maybe for a smaller agency, how can indies protect themselves from being taken advantage of by these? I'm sure most clients are absolutely lovely, but these, potential clients that could take advantage of them.
I think that if you flip it around a little bit, I think it's a blessing. So with indies, 9 times out of 10, the owner of the agency is actually involved with the business. So I think that with that comes a level of service, a level of commitment. I haven't really heard anyone being taken advantage of as such. I think it's just that, when someone's involved who runs a business, owns a business, and they will give you an extra level of service.
And pitching is obviously something that has got a lot more attention recently. And I think generally in this industry, there's been a lot of talk. This is how much the pitch process takes. Do indies need to be really picky with what pitches they kind of take on?
I think everyone needs to be picky about pitches they take on. I think that probably pitches will never go away. I think that more questions need to be asked at the start of the process. Just to avoid the bad actors out there or the ideas fishing. So I think that more questions we ask at the front, how many are involved, what are the chances, what are you looking for, what does success look like, then I think the industry is going to be a better place. But just asking those questions up front.
And I was stalking you on LinkedIn this morning. If you had an anonymous viewer, that was me. And I saw that you started your career as an apprentice, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that for you a kind of good place to start the industry, and would you recommend it?
It was a great place. I realised very quickly that I was the world's worst DJ in about 3 weeks. So, and I didn't sound like John Laws. So then I moved around a station. I moved around the industry. I touched every element of the business, and then throughout my career, I found myself here. So starting yourself there and understanding how all different areas of a media business works was really, really helpful. I recommend anyone, if they can get in that way, is a great thing to do.
And just to go back a little bit there, did I hear you started off as a DJ?
Yes. Oh, that's what I thought I wanted to do. And midnight to dawn is a pretty lonely place. And I was terrible, absolutely terrible. So I worked that out pretty fast.
And was there, at what stage of being a DJ did you kind of, I don't know, look, you're like, this is the role for me, not being a DJ, you know, behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought more of the business side was more interesting than sitting in a glass cage for several hours by yourself. So I found that more interesting. Being surrounded by people was probably more my passion, and you find that out by working in all these different divisions of you know, administration or running the business or sales or what have you. So yeah, I found it really useful.
And what are you most proud of in your career, if you had to pick one thing?
Oh, the things that I'm most proud of are probably the things that we've done lately. The IMAA itself has gone into many phases. First one was about just raising the profile of independence and having those conversations. The second one was just levelling the playing field a little bit and allowing indies to have more tools, reduce the running costs of their businesses, and support them in any way that we can. And then the third phase, we realised that, you know, we've reached a certain size, a certain point that we need to do something good for the industry, and it was on us to do it. And so, you know, now we work in diversification and inclusion. We're about to launch an emerging female leaders mentoring program. We do sustainability, and we lead from the front of the industry, going carbon positive ourselves. We're about to go to NT on the land out there with that King's narrative and have a very open and frank conversation around the voice and understand some of the issues and just listen out there. So those probably three pillars are the purpose things that I'm 100% most proud of in my career.
And is that indies working together on them areas or kind of, you know, individually?
Yep. I think all indies working together with this project. I mean, we're taking out, I think, 20 indies out to the land at Black Tank for the King's narrative in the next couple of weeks. So I think that, you know, bringing the industry together and helping us do this together, I think is very, very important and powerful.
That's all we've got time for. Sam, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, B&T fans, for watching. I don't know why that was so aggressive.